and welcome to Wordpath. This week we're in Bartlesville, sunny Bartlesville, visiting with the Eastern Delaware tribe in Oklahoma, and we're going to talk to them about their language preservation activities. We're going to speak with an elder and talk about some ongoing classes and hear a Delaware song.
My name is D. Ketchum, and I'm sitting here with one of my relatives, Leonard Thompson, at the Delaware Indian Center. By the way, Leonard is 93 years old, and he's our ceremonial chief, and one of the last people that talks our language fluently. And Leonard has been working with us, our tribe, for the last few years on keeping our language. And so I'm going to ask Leonard some questions about the language, but before I do that, I would like for Leonard to have a greeting in Delaware and maybe offer a prayer up in Delaware.
Hey, udah masa mo hash. Nok ni ko no masih stop se hang. Mai no len ta man apik de no mai ko ne yuki. Ni ta keo ko pay. Honestly.
Yeah, let's say.
I'm going to say a short prayer in the Delaware language about the Delawares and the people here that's helping us, just so we could regain the Delaware language. I will speak first in the language of the Delaware tribe. And the old Delawares, when they first brought prayer, especially in the old big house, held up the right hand. When Shinuka, you got my land, ni takeo ko, and I pay. Of the tisak, where I had a cascade patlapi, and then he seen in, another cut of you could seen in, where I had a tapina cascade and he seen in, and a patchelu and went down my land in, and a patchelu went to what in a layer. I'm glad to see here with the one that's put on this so we can review the Delaware language. And Father, help us, give us wisdom so that we can remember these things pertaining to our language. And also so as we can keep this going, this Delaware language. Father, give us help in this endeavor. Thank you, Father.
But I want to ask you, Leonard, how did you learn the language?
From my folks, that's all they talk, the Delawares. Of course, that way they do that, mix up a little English in there too, but they talk Delaware all the time.
So when you were growing up, you learned it right there in the home.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. How and so have you been able to? How have you been able to keep that language alive?
Well, pertaining to myself.
Yes.
Well, I could say when I was a real young boy, I could talk my language real good, carrying a conversation. Well, I still yet can, but I'm kind of slow about it. And as I got to be older, time for to go on my own, then World War II got me, and I was in there a little over 2 years, and I talked to myself there while I was in the service so I wouldn't forget my language. I come home, worked a few places in Bartlesville, and I didn't work very long there. So I went to work at the cement plant, and I talked to myself all the time. And I talked to my sister about the language. Mm-hmm. And I got a job in Denver, through the government. And I got up there, I always wanted to be, I took a course in baking school after I was out of the Army. I didn't want to work out in the cold weather feeding cows and things like that. I think if I can ever get a job inside where I won't be freezing to death, I'll get it. So I wanted to be a baker. Went to baker school. Well, when I got graduated from there, the government helped me get a job. Well, tried to in Tulsa, but they was full up. So he sent me to Denver. And I was in Denver, Colorado for 20 years, and I was in my 63rd year that I retired because I would have liked to went on further, but I couldn't carry on my job. I was getting too old. So I talked to myself all that time. My wife couldn't talk Delaware, so I talked to myself. Oh, she needs to learn a few of the language. And that's about all I can say.
I can remember you telling me that you used to go downtown Dewey on Saturdays, and there was a lot of old Delawares there, and used to talk a lot when there was a lot of speakers at that time.
Oh, yeah. On a Saturday, a lot of Delawares come into Dewey, that most of them traded in Dewey. And then park right there where the old Peter's hardware store was. That is still yet. And we'd all congregate, talk Delaware to each other. And the old women that greet me when I was a kid, oh, my grandson. I'd say grandma, that's the way we honor each other. And the man would go, hello, grandson. I said, hello, grandpa. That's a good way to good greeting. It was a great thing, a great honor to be a grandma or grandpa. And that talk lots of how to feel it and this and that there, but into it for trading.
Well, I know that you do, since you're the ceremonial chief for the Delaware tribe, you do a lot of ceremonies and some namings and that type of thing in Delaware. And how do you come up with the appropriate name when a family asks you to come up with naming one of their kids?
Oh, name somebody?
Yeah, how do you do that?
Well, somebody wanted a Delaware name. It's quite an honor to name someone. And so you could name somebody that passed away or somebody else's name, so it's sometimes become pretty difficult to get a name for a person. So I'd go out to myself. Sometimes I'd go out to a little farm I got out east of town here, and I'd be all by myself. And I would ask, I would ask the Creator, help me find a name for this person. And I'd sit there to talk to the Creator. I'm going to tell you an incident once. The name of a little boy was John Markley's little grandson. I was out there sitting under a walnut tree, an old chair, and I told the Creator, our Heavenly Father, help me so I could name this boy. I thought I couldn't think of nothing, no one. And then for a while there was a woodpecker in this little tree that's going pop, 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 up in that tree. Oh, he's making noise up there about, I'd say half an hour, still making noise. All at once he flew off to the west, about 20 foot off the ground. I put one of those, what we call golden wing woodpecker. He's got beautiful golden-like wings. When he flew off, about 10 foot off, 20 foot off the ground, he went out there about, say, 40 feet or more, and a feather fell off of him. And it lit on the ground, and I don't know. Maybe that's what he's given me the sign for a name. I went over there and picked that feather up. It's a beautiful colored, color like gold-colored feather. That's it. Thank you, Father, for the name you've given me. Oh, liquid, a pretty feather, a golden feather. I said, thank you, Father, for the name. Uliquin, a beautiful feather. That's his name. That's his Delaware name, Uliquin. That's the way I had to name people. It's quite difficult.
Well, I know that you've been working with the tribe for the last few years with Lucy Blaylock on our keeping our language alive.
Yeah.
And since our language is not written, and you've been down here many times working with some of our people that's trying to learn the language, how important is the language to the tribe, in your opinion?
Well, it's really important to the older people, especially so that we can carry it on, keep it going, and to get the young people interested in it, because that's the language God in heaven gave us, the Delaware language. Not pay hueso, names like that.
Well, and from that perspective, you're encouraging, you've always encouraged all of us to learn the language.
Yeah, I try to encourage them as much as I can and tell them to have pride in their language like they're our ancestors. Same way as in our customs and traditions.
I know that when you were real small, you made reference to Nori, your sister, and so you used to talk a lot back when you were around Nori.
Oh, yeah.
You two would talk Delaware.
Yeah, we carry on a conversation. It's easy.
Yeah. I noticed that a few years back, we went back to Washington, D.C., and well, actually it's New York City, and some of the Western Delawares were there, and their dialect was just a little different. You talked to Richard Snake, you remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
And
yeah, just a little, I'd say like some people in the South talks a little with kind of a brogue sometimes in different ways. And that's the way the Southern Delawares. And the ones on that's the way it was.
My name is Michael Pace. I'm the Assistant Chief of the Delaware Tribe here in northeastern Oklahoma. Today we're talking about our language program, which has actually been going on for some time, but at this particular point we are working on a conversational program. And I have with me here today Jan Brown, who is actually our program coordinator for this, if she needs a title. But I also might state that she is also the head judge of the tribe at this moment. I am the chairman of the Cultural Preservation Committee, and so I've kind of taken on this job of trying to encourage our people to retain their language with the help of Leonard and Lucy Blaylock and Nora Dean, the tapes that we use from her. And we have been making an effort to provide these classes for our people in a conversational manner so that they would be able to learn the language in a traditional greeting way and through conversational language rather than getting into the more difficult parts of the language, because we do not have very many fluent speakers except for probably Leonard at this point. We're trying to make our people more aware of their language and offering this program. And right at this moment it is open-ended. We are asking them to tell us what they need and when they want to do this. And right now we're meeting for every week or every 2 weeks now at this time of year. And most of the people that we have with us are adults. And we have quite a few children that are interested in the program, and so we're hoping that they will take more interest in that. And in fact, in the future, we are looking at having a class just for children, and we think that will encourage them quite a bit. What we have been doing so far has been taking out specific words of greeting and words referring to weather or some need or some want that each person has, and we're building on those and making them come up with sentences, but keeping it simple enough that they'll use it over and over. And that's what our concern is, repetitiveness, keep them using so it becomes second nature to them. Now I have been drawing up the words and determining which ones we want to use. Jan, with the help of Jim Rementer, I also need to thank Jim Rementer for all the work he's done. He's been with us for quite some time, and actually, when you get down to it, if it wasn't for Jim, we may not have as much as we have today because of the work he's done, preserving our language. But I would like to ask Jan if she could just talk about, her views on the class and the work that she's doing. She's also working on a dictionary, compiling a dictionary on her own, I might add, and so we hope at some point that might be added to what we're doing. So, Keiko Hechkatita.
Well, what I got started in this, I guess about 5 years ago when they started a language class, and it just filled some need inside me that I had, so I kind of, when everybody else was getting tired of learning, I was still getting enthused. And it seemed like there was always words out there I couldn't quite remember, so I have put it on the computer so I could find it. And that's where this, 100 and some odd pages that I have on the computer now. But this class that we're teaching, I'm real excited about it because the people they seem to not be discouraged as we're going along, which usually always before they've gotten tired or they've gotten discouraged because we give them so many words that they couldn't learn them in that length of time on their own. And this way we're practicing in class, and we're trying to stress saying the words when they come in, where before we just showed up and everybody spoke in English. And it seems to be working real well. If we get someone that starts to panic, then we're kind of backing off and letting them learn the words before we proceed. And it's working pretty well so far. Like I said, it's only been 3 meetings, but everybody goes, well, are we going to meet next week? And they all go, yes, we're coming. So it's very encouraging.
I know one thing that we have done this year, we just obtained an A&A grant, planning grant for language preservation. And we're hoping to next year apply for a grant that will allow us to expand our horizons by offering this language in many different ways. Hopefully through the computers, through the internet, but maybe also on CD and tape, and there are many other media to use there to make it more available for our own people, and we're hoping that we'll have a lot of good results from that. And I also might add that just last year, Cultural Preservation provided a very large computer, or a great capacity computer, not only for archiving our information, but for preserving the language. And so everything that we get goes in there, and we're hoping that at some point we will be able to use that to make it available to our people. And we might also add that we do have a web page, today, and so people can access that.
The thing that I discovered is most of the people that really want to learn aren't close to our area, and they can't really come here for a weekly class, and this is why this grant will come in so handy. We have probably just as many people in California and some of the other states that are wanting this language just as desperately as we are, and this way they'll have a chance to learn it.
Yes, my name is Russell Ellis, and I'm the tribal manager for the Delaware Tribe of Indians. And I've been on the job approximately 4 years, and at this juncture in time, the Delaware Tribe is seeing a tremendous growth in a number of programs that we're receiving. One of the programs that we're receiving, which is going to be very beneficial to the tribal membership, is a grant through the Administration of Native Americans to preserve the Delaware or Lenape language. I've served as a project director for the program. However, the actual work's going to be done by Jim Rementer, who is the program coordinator. And I'll turn it over to Jim to give more particulars on the program.
Thank you, Russ. As Russ said, I'm Jim Rementer, and I've been working on the Delaware language for over 30 years now. A number of speakers that I've worked with, almost all of them, I guess, are gone. Leonard Thompson, who you saw earlier, was one of the last of the speakers we have in this community. And I think the Delawares in western Oklahoma also are down to about 1 or 2 speakers. That is, fluent speakers. There are some younger ones who know a number of words and sentences. With the ANA project, one of the main objectives that we have to do with the planning grant is to find out what will best benefit our Lenape people who live scattered all over the United States to learn this. Audio tapes, videotapes, CD-ROM discs for a computer, whatever is best. And we're doing a questionnaire which is going to go out just in a week or 2 for tribal members to give us that information. That's also a requirement that we have, that we do this survey. And I have, besides working on the language just on my own, I worked with my aunt. I was adopted by Leonard's father, James H. Thompson, into the Thompson family. And my Aunt Nora wanted to do language classes for a number of times. She actually taught some over in Owata, but she realized that was only reaching a few people who could attend the classes. So we finally discussed putting out tapes and booklets called Lenape Language Lessons. And those came out almost 20 years ago. And they've been very widely received and are still in demand. Also, we had language classes with Lucy Blaylock through the Culture Preservation Committee of the tribe. We started those, I think, in 1993, and Lucy taught the classes for about 2.5 years. We had 31 classes altogether. She would come over about every 2 weeks or so, and we had approximately 30 people in the class. Of course, as I think Jan Brown pointed out, we did have some dropouts after a while when people found out that there actually was a grammar to the language, and you didn't just learn a short list of words and were a fluent speaker. And some people, unfortunately, have the idea that if you're Indian, you get it by osmosis and just kind of absorbed through your skin or something. And unfortunately, learning a language is difficult. It takes years and years of work.
Tell us a story.
Oh, yes, I'll tell this. You all tell me what I'm talking about.
Okay. Okay.
You tell me what I'm talking about. If there's any words in there, you catch what you tell me. Ni shouldn't have back way up there could have week. Oh, daddy gave.
About Delaware women.
Let them honeymoon come. Okay. Mem honeymoon lo say whiskey can know. Kuchila, kutas kuchila tunya, nama kuti kuwait, nama halaman. Nama machita, kuno ikhani kuchila tunya. Nama halaman telo nama motivate. Now what I say?
Tell me the first sentence again.
Yeah.
The first sentence.
Ni shana per huevo training
5, 2 women. 2 women.
Delaware women.
2 Delaware women.
What they do.
Went to town.
Right.
Went to town.
She said that too fast, Tony.
Mem halamundi counting ale. You know what mem halamundi can we had that.
Unfortunately, Lucy is no longer able to teach us due to her health, but we do have the work that she did with the classes, and then after the classes ended, we still continue to go to her house almost on a weekly basis to do work with her on a number of things. She translated 3 of the stories, the traditional Lenape stories that were put down by a Delaware man named Richard Adams, and Lucy translated 3 of these back into the Lenape language, and that book is going to be out next month.
Well, I'm going to sing a cradle song, I guess you might say, a nursery song. The first, it's about a cat You know when a cat goes, he's purring. He's happy, singing. Well, I'm going to use what he sings. Puquestila soken, puquestila soken, puquestila. It's just over and over. I killed a big long rat, I killed a big long rat, I killed a big long rat, I killed a big long rat. Oh. The next one is about a wolf and a fly, house fly. It's a cradle song too. To-me, 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 he growls. To-me, to-me, Uche, 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 without God. Uche, uche, without God. Uche, uche, without God. Uche, uche, without God. To me, uche, uche, without God. Wolf, wolf, he growls. Fly, fly, look at his ear. Fly, fly, look at his ear. Fly, fly, look at his ear. I looked, but I never could see his ear.
I want to thank all of our guests who've taken the time and trouble to share their knowledge of the Delaware language with us today. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Join us next time on Wordpath.
Na hene yo hene, na hene yo hene, ana magwana kita, wa pene manaone kita. Na hene yo hene, na hene yo hene, ana magwana kita, wa pene manaone kita. Na hene yo hene, na hene yo hene, ana magwana kita, wa pene manaone kita. Na hene yo hene, na hene yo hene, ana magwana kita, wa pene manaone kita. Na hene yo hene, na hene yo hene, ana magwana kita, wa